Hey guys, Patriots, I should be live. This is a new device that I'm using, so the audio should be uh, different, the quality should be different. May 6th, 2021. It's also the 60th anniversary of. I'm just going to go over a few things. First, I want to again see if this works. See how the it's been a little bit. See how the quality is. See if the audio is working. Um, and then obviously, I have some notes here about UAPs, and then depending upon the audience, as far as Q&A. But again, brand new device that we are recording on. Let me know how the audio is. There's a few people who jumped in now. Hope everyone is doing well out there. Like I said, it's the 16th of May, Thursday. Let me know how the audio is. Coffee Spoons, hello from Rhode Island. Howdy, howdy.
Over 1,400 anti-aircraft rounds were fired by the month's 25th.
Obviously, you guys know I research every single day, 7 days a week, folks. I never take a day off. 7 days a week, I research. And I like to say I know a lot about a little bit. You can pretty much ask me about any subject. Not every subject, obviously, but pretty diversified. And again, I know a lot about a little bit. You guys know the more red-pilled you are, any subject. Pick space because that's the topic, or UFOs, UAPs, which is the new name. I guess UFO could have put bad taste in people's mouth because something has been going on, but something the fact that they're disclosing stuff now, uh, they're not doing it, guys, because they're bored. I may not know the reason why, but you have to understand they're Warner von Braun, on his dying bed, he mentioned that there would be a red flag type of event, and that's the final card. Obviously, guys, things change, right? We talk about this a lot. There are timelines, right? There's timelines, but we, the people of the world, again, this is just my opinion, we disrupt timeline. Perfect example. DT was the past president, right? What did all the polls say? Regardless, again, this video is not this video is not pertaining to politics at all. But he wasn't supposed to win. He wasn't. Um, Again, that's just one hiccup in the timeline. So again, I'm not saying that we can stop certain things, but what we can definitely do is hit the brakes a little bit. Um, but hopefully, people are waking up, guys. I talk to people every single day of my life, not in this virtual world, but in person. Getting gas, convenience, grocery store. People, sometimes I'm not even speaking to these people. I hear regular people talk about the jab, talk about topics that we discuss on this channel. And I have some of my own family, guys, that received the jab. I am just me. I am against this. I am against being the guinea pig. And again, I'm not getting into it in this video, but I am against being a guinea pig, and changing my DNA, changing our DNA, right? So I always, folks, for the past probably 12 years, 12 years I've been documenting the heavens for the past 12 years. I've always loved uh, uh, use quotations because, again, guys, space isn't that easy. You can't just look it up or whatever search engine you use and say what is space. The crazy part is there's different agencies classify space at a different mark. Like, and again, I've always been into it. This is I just found this over the weekend. I'm cleaning out my attic, and this is my wallet, folks, from fifth grade. Nanu. Fifth grade. I have toys up there. Yeah, some of them are from action movies, but I've always been into space and ETs my entire life. As you can see, I just showed you just two items, but this week marks the 60th anniversary of the U.S. Going to space. Just want to say congratulations to America. Why do you think that they are announcing about Will? Sounds good. What's up, brother? People must be working. Yeah, again, I didn't announce that I'm going live, but this is brand new camera, brand new device. So I just wanted to I do have obviously some notes written down, depending upon, like I said, for Q&A, if that's not going to happen today. But and the most fascinating part is, guys, if I wasn't in the early 2000s, I was in high school, and I guess I don't know the answer to this. Like, this would be, I mean, this is huge news, guys. Like, it should be on every front page. You shouldn't be able, I mean, convenience store, get. I mean, this should be a 24/7 loop. When you have Tucker Carlson, who, again, the reason why I use him, because I think he gets the most views in the mainstream, and I think he's very fair. That's just my opinion, but like, again, a few years ago, folks, this would be news that at every paper you would get. But I don't. Again, I don't have the answer. Why aren't people more engaged? Why aren't people saying, why aren't you in the street banging your pot? No, not going crazy, but why? Is it just, we're too distracted? Is there so much other stuff going on? I don't know. I do not have the answer. Maybe you guys do. But it just blows my mind. And again, I don't know how you guys feel. Everything I do, I leave it up for you guys to decide. So I don't know how you guys feel about SpaceX. As a human being, I think Elon, you have to remember, guys, Elon he's an elite, right? Look at Elon versus Jeffrey Bezos. How many elites, you know, are engaged, should I say, with the people? Not too many. And again, I feel that he is a white hat, just my opinion. It's not like, I don't care how much money you have, it's not like Elon is just doing his own thing in space, folks. It's a joint effort with yours truly, the snake, and NASA, right? So even if there was something that that he wanted to say, to mention to us, possibly new camera footage, he has his hands tied. People always think Elon could do whatever he wants, but that's not how it works, guys. That's not how it works. I'll go over a few notes. This was Newsweek, a Gallup poll of, again, how do they come up with these numbers? 1,522 people adults in the U.S. found that one in three believe, and this was a poll that was taken back in September 6th of 2019. So one in three people. Think about if you go to a grocery store or anywhere where you're around people. I know it's very rare these days, unfortunately, but one in three people, they believe. HuffPost 2017, 48% of U.S. adults believe alien spacecraft has been observing our planet, with 35% outright reject the idea. If you're new to this subject and you want to, because again, there's a lot of fake crap out there, junk, right? The part that really caught my eye more recently pertaining to this subject and the U.S. military, there's a gentleman named Dr. Salvatore Pais. It's one thing, guys, having an idea, right, and getting a patent. Just because it's a patent does not mean that it's out there, right? Guys, military.com, I'm telling you guys, these are my sources. Military.com, Warzone, do a DuckDuckGo, try it on Google. So not only did Salvatore Pais, there again, his name is on the patent, invent HAUC's hybrid aerospace underwater crafts, but in all of these documents, they stated that the United States military, they're fully engaged in these vehicles are operational. I'll say that again, guys. We have craft, hybrid aerospace underwater craft that can go to 80,000 feet, then could go from 80,000 to 1 feet above water to underwater. Again, I'm no physicist, but I kind of, what's that, zero gravity? Just think of, just water, moving in water alone, guys. That's pretty amazing. Again, this isn't Andrew. This isn't really not fiction. They announced this. It's on military.com, Warzone, The Drive. Look it up on any search engine, and it pops right up. We have these, and they're being used. Again, no speculation. There's no debating. It's a fact. That's pretty amazing stuff. Again, we could go back to World War II with and even Nikola Tesla. The Germans, I always like to say the Germans lost World War II, but the SS did not. So Germany lost World War II, but the SS did not. The Germans had something called Die Glocke. It looked like a chestnut. And, there's actual footage that you guys can find. This video is going to be short, so I'm not going to be showing and telling anything. Again, the main reason was to see if this new camera would work, as well as the audio. And you guys said it sounds good, so might as well talk about a few topics, or one topic. But again, it's the 60th anniversary. But again, the Germans and the Germans went to Antarctica. They actually had their own base back in '38, New Schwabelen. Again, guys, think about right now. You don't know not one person who's been to Antarctica. You watching right now. If you do, two reasons. They were either a contractor, meaning your hands are tied. You got to sign, your hands are tied, you're zipped. Or whoever they're very, very wealthy, and they went there. And they, again, guys, you can't just go there and explore. If Antarctica is the size that they tell us, it's about 1.5 times 1.5 times the size of America. And right under Chile, so you have US of A, South America. There's a hook and a hook. That's like the main spot. Again, we're talking about a area that is 1.5 times the size of America. If, again, I'm going by science. So, I mean, that baffles me, folks. That baffles me. And people think everything is explored in, guys, 5%, 5% of the oceans. There's a couple channels that are like they go live, right? And they do research in the oceans. Live. You got anyone can watch it. If you're interested, let me know. I can't think of one off the top of my head, but every single video they discover a brand new species. This is just one organization with a couple cameras and with a couple people. So when people, like, it's typically the people who are not open-minded and people who are brainwashed, but like 5% of the ocean has been explored. That baffled my mind when you have people wanting to learn, again, wanting to learn or wanting to go to Mars when we don't know what the hell we live on. Again, it's all fact, it's not speculation. And again, I'm not knocking anybody. If you obviously want to go to Mars, but I just, we don't know what we live on, guys. We don't know what we live on. There's something called Starlink. And again, unfortunately, I'm not showing and telling in this video, but everything I say, I can show you guys. Again, let me know if you want a link for something in the description box. But Starlink, in 2006, it was called, this is very, very hard. Everything I say is open source, obviously, but this is very hard to get information pertaining to this subject. It's called the Data Denial Act of 2006 under Bushy. Data Denial Act. Anything above 60th parallel north, anything 60th parallel south, there is no, air quotes, live footage. Guys, that is a huge, not only is that all of Antarctica, but it goes out beyond the ice wall. Just stop and think about that for a second. Just Antarctica alone, let alone the North Pole. Pretty crazy stuff. Earth, it seems very tiny, right? In for some things, but it also seems much larger. And we always hear depopulated, there's too many people on the planet. Guys, there's a area in the Amazon rainforest that's the size of India. The size of India that has yet been explored. This is a forest, folks. I'm not even talking about the oceans right this second. That has yet been explored for numerous reasons. Every time researchers go, obviously there's different bacteria and stuff, so people get sick, people pass away. But yeah, let that sink in for a second. The size of India that has yet been explored. Pretty crazy. Again, some people may not be into this subject. Some people might just want current events and stuff. And we talk about a little bit of everything on this channel. My main channel was whacked, so I really, really have to be careful. There are plenty of other great platforms out there, but nothing like the eyes on this platform. Even though being shadow banned, it doesn't matter. And also the live feature. I do know that in a few months, other platforms are working on a live feature, but YouTube is amazing actually to have that. Also, back to fun stuff. At least I find this subject amazing. There was a mermaid, guys, a mermaid, couple mermaids washed up, right? If we know mermaids in fiction movies and Disney, right? And they look very beautiful, and but that's not the case. I could show you actual footage. Again, guys, anything I'm saying right now, there's a mermaid that was captured 6 March of 2013 off the coast of Greenland. And again, actual footage, guys. This was Discovery Channel covered it. And the only reason why the footage got out was because of the two, what, submariners, I guess they're called, the two individuals in the sub. They both automatically agreed to not disclose any information with anybody above the surface, and that's the only reason why we know about it. And again, there's actual footage of it, not just pictures, actual footage. It's a humanoid. It has 5 fingers. They're webbed. It looks like an alien, but they call it a mermaid. Again, this was in 2013, guys. And then right after, once they came out, that area became the largest um, uh, national park in the world. And again, I have some family that work in America in national parks, and they're not open-minded. But I always find it interesting that, like, there were some, like, national parks, right? There's a lot more that goes on in these national parks. I can't think of the gentleman's name off the top of my head, but 411 talks about missing people. Guys, the number of people that go missing in national parks. I could have a channel directed just to that. And what got that individual started was, I believe he was a retired police officer, and he went to a national park, and somebody ended up missing, and then he spoke to a couple national park high up individuals, and he asked how many people go missing here a year, or how frequent, and they don't keep track. As soon as again, I'm sorry, I don't know his name. As soon as he heard that, he dedicated his entire life. Again, there's a movie called Missing 411. There's short documentaries about this subject. Or how about a little kid being with their family? Again, guys, there's nobody around, right? There's nobody around. A mother with her child 20, 30 feet away, and the mother turns her back for a second, grabs a bag off the table, turns around, and their child is gone. We're not talking about a Usain Bolt, the fastest person in the world. They can't even run that fast. We're talking about a baby. Sometimes they're found up ravines, and you know, some of the best athletes in the world cannot do that. So how can a child? Again, I don't have the answers. I'm just telling you facts. This is all real stuff. It's as if somebody picked up a child for what, you know, what's the reason? I don't know. But picked them up, dropped them off, sometimes miles away, guys. Miles away. But there are plenty of cases that do not get solved. Sometimes you may just find a shoe. Sometimes you may find all of their clothing. But the person's they disappear. Pretty crazy stuff. Pretty crazy stuff. Also, in 2011, guys, in the earthquake at Fukushima, not only was that the worst, it's still leaking till this day. Like, that's another thing, because again, you don't hear about it. Every single day, something new happens. It's like losing a loved one or losing a pet. Obviously, you will never forget that person, but life goes on, guys. Life goes on. There's always something else popping up, right? But anyway, there's something called a Nijin. And if you look up Nijin, they call it folklore or fiction, but there's actual footage of in 2011, like I said, in the earthquake that hit Japan, of a possible creature. I'm calling it the Nijin, but it reminds me of the movie Predator. And a lot of people, guys, just because we humanoids, we think we see color, most of us, unless you're colorblind. But the way we observe the sky, indoors, we just assume that cats, dogs, other species see the world like we do. But that's not the case, guys. The human eye is not that good. I mean, if you ever put on a pair of nods and looked into the heavens, it looks like there's a highway up there. Looks like there's. I mean, you could even without night vision, if you go somewhere where there's zero light pollution, kind of looks like there's a highway up there. Pretty amazing stuff. But again, it's called the Nijin. Very, very interesting creature because in this footage, again, earthquake tsunami just came, and again, I call them pods. I don't know what they really are, but it's like a family of pods, and they're very, very wide. There's actual pictures if you whatever search engine you use, DuckDuckGo, and type in images, you will see a few that are actual footage, and then you will see a few that are like artist renditions, but they're known to be at both poles. But for some reason in Japan, I found a lot of literature speaking about the Nijin. So this thing jumps up, and you could see it. It's white. It jumps up, but it totally disappears. It's like the movie Predator. And the next time you see it, it's on top of the roof. And again, it's a creature that came out of the ocean. I just talked about mermaids, and everything I'm talking about, guys. There's actual footage. There's actual footage, not just video, or excuse me, not just pictures, but video as well. It's pretty amazing. Again, I find this stuff amazing. Some of you may not be into this type of stuff, but speaking about the UFO disclosure, I mean, there's just so much stuff about Earth that we don't know. Me being the masses, and I really believe that they at the top, they really don't have all the information to everything. They have a hell of a lot more than we do, obviously, but again, the ocean alone, that baffles me, guys. I have Google Earth Pro. I mean, I don't have a television, guys. So if I am home, or when I am home, I'm doing research. I mean, you could go on Google Earth Pro, and it's like being in another world, because at the top left-hand corner, there's a timeline in different years, different altitudes, different pitches, different yaws, different images pop up, and why do they block out so many things in the ocean? Again, that they don't even mean to do it like good. They don't even copy and paste. Like, it's totally different color blue. Like, they don't care that they're hiding it. But again, there were many that were the Mariana Trenches. I know mainstream, they say that is the deepest part of the ocean, but there's another part that's just northeast of Puerto Rico, and that may be the deepest part of the ocean. Not as long, obviously. The Mariana Trench is gigantic, but and why it has only 3 people? 3 people. They've been. Think about that. 3 people who have been to the bottom of the ocean. Just 3 people, and of course, they're all elite, right? They're all elites. James Cameron. I just find that, again, it's not a money issue, because Think of all the people with money. There's something else behind it. There's something else behind it. But again, why would they block out the ocean? Not all of it, obviously, but certain parts of the ocean. Right off the coast of LA. I mean, it looks like some type of base. Again, I'm sure this isn't anything new, but they block it out now. So what the hell is that all about? On top of that, what we call them UFOs. Doesn't mean there's little green men. It just means that's not a bird. That's not an airplane. I don't know what the hell that is. So we call it a UFO. But UAPs, guys, talk to any pilot. Talk to any fisherman. UAPs are I mean, think about a huge craft that just disappears into the ocean. And again, going back to national parks, there are national parks in our oceans. You, as a civilian, you cannot go to the Grand Canyon. Correction, you can go to the Grand Canyon, but you're not free to go wherever the hell you want. It's very, very large, the Grand Canyon. I've been there numerous times. There are certain sections that are blocked off even to the native people, folks. Even to the native people. Again, just, I don't have the answer. Just ask yourself why. And then, again, anybody who is new into this subject or kind of blow it off, the Battle of LA, which took place 25 February of 42, not only was that amazing because there's actual footage that you could still listen to, like the news covered it all night. It was the U.S. Army shooting cannons guys, this is LA, guys. This wasn't like, Louisiana or some rural Texas place in Texas or Arizona. This is LA. And it went on all night. And then the news anchors, they covered it. They called it the Battle of LA. And then they actually made like a Hollywood movie about it. Battle of Los Angeles in 2011. I have not seen that, actually. But again, it was an all-night event. It was craft that were coming out of the ocean over top of LA. And it was an all-night type of thing. Unless there was one type of craft that was, that could have kept making the loop. There were hundreds of these crafts. There are a few people that are still alive, and allegedly a couple craft were knocked down. They were knocked down into the ocean. But most of the craft, when our artillery would hit the aircraft, it had like think of like a shield, like what you see in a movie. The artillery would hit before it hits the craft. And as crazy as that sounds, guys, we have that technology in the U.S. military. It's not everywhere, but I mean, we have that technology. So like if you shoot like an RPG at a Humvee rather than it penetrate the actual Hummer, it goes off, a couple feet prior to. So again, we have been experimenting with that technology. So wherever these UAPs come from, pretty crazy stuff. Pretty crazy stuff. I mean, people are still wearing muzzles in New Jersey. So science. So the Battle of LA was 42. Operation High Jump was December 2nd of 46. I always found that interesting, guys, because the U.S. military, again, this was right after World War II. So the Redcoats, they actually had boots on the ground in Germany. They were the ones that liberated Germany. Where William Tompkins, he passed over. But there's another gentleman, Robert Wood. So I recommend you guys learning about William Tompkins and what he has to say. He was selected out of high school, very, very smart. Again, guys, this was a kid who was selected out of high school to work for the U.S. military. And I posted a few videos of his, but pretty much his quote is, everything that we know is incorrect. Everything. I know that sounds, crazy, but, and we're starting to see that. We're starting to see that. We can go faster than the speed of light, etc., etc. I love science, but I don't like how it became so politicized. Like, science is supposed to be broken. Like 200 years ago, they had their technology, and we look at Einstein like a god. We look at Einstein like a god. Einstein, not Andrew's words, David Sinclair, he's one of the leading scientists for the U.S. government, one of the leading scientists at Harvard. His own words. He was wrong. Not about everything, obviously. Not about everything, but that's how science is supposed to be, guys. And we just don't see that in these days. And then if you question it, you're if you, God forbid, if you question it, even your regular doctors, guys, they don't keep up with police officers. They don't keep up, for the most part. They don't keep up with the literature. When my mother passed away from breast cancer, every single appointment, myself and my father, I would go in with notes. Every single appointment. And the doctor, again, one of the best doctors, she was treated in Philadelphia, and I know people go, I met people from all over the world there, but there were some questions that even one of the best doctors couldn't answer. They don't keep up with the literature. And again, I'm not saying, I respect, obviously, your profession, but I'm the type to ask questions. I just don't want a report and take it for what it is. I have questions regardless of what it is, let alone about your parent dying, right? Just be open-minded, guys. Be open-minded. And I listen to everybody. I like to be the gray man. And not in this virtual reality part, but in reality. I learn stuff when we do live videos like this and do Q&A. I learn stuff off of you guys. You guys are very, very open-minded and very, very intelligent, and are not cheap. And I am blessed to have you guys, even though RNF got whacked. They could remove us, but they cannot demoralize us. Is the audio still good, I guess? I haven't checked out anything. Miss Julia, how are you? Redhead, let's go to work, peace and love. Coffee spoons. What will they do with them? Tyler, what's up, brother? Yeah, man. Like I said, the main purpose was trying out this new device and the audio. But there's lots to talk about, and being the 60th anniversary that we went to space. Well, audio is good. Thank you. Oath Keeper, California. I love the name. Land of the free, home of the brave. If you're watching this, you are the resistance. You are. Hippie G, there's a lot that we don't know. There is, and I accept that. Guys, like many topics, the more you dig in, the more you go down that rabbit hole, the more questions you have. And typically the more questions you have, the more things that cannot be answered. And I'm fine with that. I'd rather not know something than be spoon-fed by a person with a PhD, this person has 2 masters, this is a physicist. I respect that, but that's all mainstream. I still listen to mainstream, obviously, but once I start asking questions, it's either like you're not supposed to ask that, or how dare you, and that's when I do my own research. The crazy part is too, like what I love aviation. Guys, I've been documenting the heavens for, like I said, probably 12 years, but I've always been a skywatcher. But for the past, I have 12 years of footage of the heavens. I've captured so many crafts that I can't even remember how many, and I shared many of them with you guys. Um, Guys, we went backwards in aviation, by the way. Like, think of technology. Like anyone, you know, anybody. I mean, even the poor people have cell phones. Push one button, you're live at a protest, at a rally, wherever you want, right? Um, but why did aviation go backwards? And that always boggles my mind. Like the Concorde, yeah, the Concorde had its issues, but there's more millionaires and billionaires today than ever in modern day history. So you would think that there would be an aircraft like the Concorde. That being said, I know that there are some in the works, but these won't be released until like 2025. I believe one, but most of them are like 2030. They won't be released. Guys, the Concorde ended in 2003. That's when it ended in 2003. Um, think about the SR-71 Blackbird. I mean, to this day, it looks. I mean, if one flew over your house, you would probably identify it as a UFO. Like this is 1950s, folks. 1950s technology. The U-2 spy plane. Um, just like with everything, though, obviously it takes a long time for things to be declassified. Um, but remember about it was prior to this pandemic that unfortunately that we're still in. Remember all the loud booms that we heard all around the world, but New Jersey heard quite a few loud booms. I'm not saying that uh, uh, they're all the same because they don't all sound the same, but we have so many aircraft that they're constantly testing out. Sometimes they only make one aircraft. I mean it could be beautiful, right? But I mean, for money reasons and etc. Um, but back when Ronald Reagan was the president, guys, that's when the F-22 was on paper. Think about those apples for a second. The F-22, which is fifth generation U.S. jet. First time I saw in with the first time that I saw it was in 2005. I saw it in person. But just knowing that Ronald Reagan had it on paper, um, it's pretty crazy. And then there's a second aircraft that when it went up against it, it was called the YF 23. My opinion, the YF-23 blew the Raptor. Again, just my opinion. Not only with the looks, um, but again, guys, everything's about money in this world. And Lockheed Martin, right? They were battling back then, so they went with the F-22. But I mean, the newest fifth generation from Russia, it looks identical to the YF-23. Again, this was 1980s. Again, I know technology, they're always updating it, just like the B-52, right? Your great grandfather could have been on that aircraft, but they updated it with technology. But yeah, just pretty crazy stuff as far as aviation goes. Aviation Arms. Nice to see you, man. Susie, how are you? Aviation Arms. I want to know why we're going full production on F-35 when it's not so special. We have better aircraft. Roger that. Roger that. Yeah. Even the F-22 had its fair share of problems, but I mean the F-35B Bravo, that took the place. That's what the Marines were using. I mean, even the Harrier, the original Harrier. I mean, to watch a fighter jet take off like a helicopter, and then poof, go like it. I mean, that's pretty amazing stuff. And the F-35, it's just super sexy when obviously when you see that. But I agree 100% with with that one. We could have done a lot better. Um, but I agree. Are you familiar with the YF-23 aviation? Coffee spoons. America and the rest of the world has been lied to from the government and leaders. It is. It is. And again, guys, or I haven't said this. I'm just looking at comments. But when you, again, I'm a very fair person, and again, I listen to everybody. When I used to work the street, I used to call, these are people who haven't had showers and they don't know, not even weeks. They can't recall the last time they had a shower. And when you treat them like a human being, these are people with mental health issues. Their eyes open up. Like this big guy, this big guy's showing me respect. I'll show anybody respect. Obviously, if you act like a human, I'll treat you like a human. You want to act like a savage, I'll treat you like a savage. Um, Again, being open-minded and playing devil's advocate. Think about this, the whole UFO thing. And I didn't bring this what I'm about to say up thus far. But the only reason why if I was in charge and if I was to hide UFOs from people, because it's out of our hands, folks. And again, there's different types of humans, right? There's different types of ETs out there. Some are friends, some are foes. And again, I'm not here to say that there are lizard people, such as what David Icke says and other people, but look into that topic. I know it sounds cuckoo, but look into that topic just a little bit. Again, still playing devil's advocate. If you were in charge and there were a type of species called the reptilians, and they had crafts like this, and I mean, humans are like an ant compared to the reptilians. And just again, if this was a Hollywood script, we're making a movie right now. I'm not saying it's real, but this is just for live action role play, LARP, right? What if the reptilians were snatching up kids, were snatching up humans? I mean, probably 20 minutes ago, I brought up the whole missing 411 cases from the national parks. What if it was? What if they, being human, we always want to know, right? So we have our phone, we could do our research, like on basic stuff, like why is the sky blue? Bloop, pops right up. I'm not talking about me, guys. I'd rather not know something than be fed incorrect information. But what if there were? Just seriously, hypothetically speaking, if we were making a movie, how would you tell the world, let alone the American people, that we have the best in the world, the best in the world, but yet we can't keep you safe? again, guys, that's me playing devil's advocate. That's that's me playing devil's advocate. I mean, yeah. Think about how that would change. I mean, again, fear. Fear. What does fear do to people? Look at the co-flu. People still wearing muzzles. With all the information we have. We're not a month, 2 months into it. We're over a year, folks. Excuse me. We're over a year into it. Not one person watching live, or not one person watching this later on, can email me any evidence that muzzles work the way that people wear them out there. I'm not saying every time you go to a store, you have the gloves on, take it out of a packaging, you put it right in the trash can. Guys, I mean, I know people have been using them for 6 months. For 6 months. In I don't know where you guys live, but in Jersey, a lot of people hang them from the rearview mirror. Some of them are faded, actually faded from the sun, and they're still using them. People just want a type of security. Again, even if they do not work, guys, it's like a mental thing. I am more. I'm like a conservative / libertarian, right? I have liberal views. Like, I don't care what you do with your body, as long as you're not hurting me. I don't care if you're gay. I don't care if you have green hair. I don't care if you do you, right? Do you? Just don't tread on me. When you tell me I have to do something before entering the store, that's when I have a problem with it. So I'm pretty libertarian. Obviously, I have my morals and ethics and how I live my life, but we're all different. But as long as it's law abiding, as long as you're not hurting anybody, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. Excuse me. I don't know why full pressure fish fries. Coffee spoon still here driving. Is there anybody live that's here right now that does not believe in UFOs? Anyone here that does not believe in UFOs? I know there's like a 17-second delay. All right, guys. And also, Steve Quayle. The evidence is out there, guys. Like, of giants I believe, in the early 2000s in Afghanistan. I mean, again, Steve Quayle, George Norrie. These are from Coast to Coast AM. But in the early 2000s, think about this. Think about if your loved one is fighting a war overseas, right? And again, guys, the military, when you're in the military, you are property of the U.S. government. You are property of the U.S. government, right? I mean, don't get me down that rabbit hole, but Marines were killed by a giant in Kandahar. Think again. This isn't again when none of us were alive. This was in the 2000s, folks. You're telling again, it still amazes me. A giant killed U.S. soldiers. in Afghanistan. Not only did it kill some Marines, but it killed some Navy SEALs. And then our reinforcements came and lit that fallen angel, whatever you want to call it, lit them up like the 4th of July. And we flew, well, we, America, flew him, a very large giant with red hair. We flew him to Wright-Patterson. Everybody wants to, again, guys, Area 51. I mean, the real estate is so big, but S4, I mean, that's where the real stuff's going on. And again, way underground. But again, that's one facility. That's known as, people from all over the world, they heard of that. But we have facilities all over the world. Ohio being Ohio, I mean, they're all over the place. But if you look up that story, that's allegedly where the giant was brought back. And think of what they could do, guys, if this was a movie, if I was a producer and I want to do an alien invasion. Think about CRISPR alone. By 2030, every single person watching live or listening in the future will be, if you want to have kids, even if you don't have any kids, if you're anyone who you know that will have a kid, I'm talking 2030 and 2030 and CRISPR has been being used, but it gets, like with everything, it's super expensive. But again, by 2025, 2030, it's going to be very inexpensive. And again, guys, this is where it gets, I don't know where your political views are or how you feel about this, but this is where some people say you're playing God, meaning humans are playing God. Heart disease runs in my family. Breast cancer runs in my family. High blood pressure runs in my dad's, there's all different stuff. But with CRISPR alone, right this second, right now, we have the technology to eradicate that. Again, we have the technology. It's super easy to get rid of. The problem is it's super expensive. But like I said, by 2030, if heart disease runs in your family, whatever it may be, we being the doctor can eradicate that. Think about that. Besides cancer, think about again, sky's the limit with CRISPR, and this is where, again, besides playing God, you could pick the color of your children, you could pick the eyes, you could pick the height. Again, it gets pretty crazy, CRISPR. Susie, I heard that. Aviation, I'm open-minded. I don't know what to think about UFOs. Off topic, have you heard about the jab shedding? Yes. Yeah. And yeah, I'll do a total. I will do a total separate video pertaining to that. But shedding, guys, for it, I'm just looking in questions with aviation arms. Like if you have sex with somebody who had the jab, and yeah, but shedding is very real. I don't know about just giving somebody a loved one a hug, but yeah, shedding is very real. I know that, and I opened about 59 minutes ago. When I opened this video, I said I really had to be careful with this platform. So anything that even may go against the tide would be on my Patreon. And again, this is a brand new device, so I can start pumping out videos. Thank God. Thank you for my Patrons. All right, guys, we just hit an hour. Appreciate trying out this new technology. Appreciate seeing you guys. I know it's been a while, and just want to say thank you and be open-minded. Be open-minded. That doesn't mean I believe everything. That's the first thing that people always say. Oh, you believe everything? No, I look into everything. That's all. All right, guys, be safe. Stay vigilant. Appreciate it.